Hey guys, welcome back to Ant Invasion. This is probably one of my most anticipated video yet. Today I'll be showing you how to make a formicarium just like this one. So the first thing that you want to do is find the same sized tube that you're using and drill the same sized drill bit out of the acrylic or whatever container you're using. Now you want to get some plaster. I'm just using plaster of Paris, and you don't want too much because we're just doing a thin layer to start with. Keep on adding water until all the particles have dissolved into a liquid. For this particular mixture, we want it to be more runny rather than like a paste. So once you're happy with your mixture, you just want to pour it into the container that you have. Once the plaster is poured in, you want to shake it around to make it flat and make all the bubbles that are trapped inside rise to the top. I plugged up the hole that we drilled out earlier with some tissue so that no more plaster would seep through. I then proceeded to clean down any of the splashes that the plaster caused when I was shaking it around. It is really important that you clean down the edges, otherwise when you create the tunnels, it will be hard to see your ants. Now for the fun part. We will be designing what the interior of your ant nest will look like. So first of all, you want to wet some sand and then clump it together to form your first cavity. So right now I'm creating like a pathway between two. Continue to make little mounds like this. Make sure to make your tracks right up against the plastic, otherwise you won't see your ants half the time. I put these pencils in because it will create a pathway to the next layer, which I'll be creating next. This layer was kind of tricky because I didn't make the plaster the right consistency, so some was a bit sloppy and some was really runny. Once that layer of plaster had hardened, I took out the pencils and I created two more mounds over where the pencils were. The mounds will have holes in the bottom so that ants can crawl from the top to the bottom. For this next small layer, I was just making an area that was stable enough to put another little track. This next layer was kind of tricky because I had to hold up the pencils with a ruler. I then added my final layer of plaster just to make it look more like a hill. So now with the hole that you created at the start, you want to dribble some water in so that the sand becomes all wet and loose. The sand now becomes easier to flush out. So this is what the caves will look like, and there is sand stuck to the back because when the plaster was wet, all the sand stuck to it, but that kind of gives it a pretty cool effect. Even without soil at the top, this formicarium still looks awesome. But I have to admit, it does look better with soil on the top. I did eventually add some rocks though. When I went down to get the rocks for my formicarium, I found this queen ant. I'm so happy because this queen is a Fidole, and I've always wanted a Fidole colony. Thanks for watching this episode of Ant Invasion. Stay tuned for our next video.